This one's putting up a bit of a spirited fight. Churning line off the spool. Oh yeah, looks like a nice ling. There we go. Yes, what a good start. Go on, mate. And so far, the trip has been pretty epic. I think we're up to 6 bites, something like that. You join us on a beautiful sunny day at Baulking, which is a lake that is in between Oxford and Swindon. And it's a very, very nice lake as well, as that dog has just agreed in the background. It is gin clear, around 15 to 20 acres, and has some very beautiful carp in. We arrived reasonably early this morning and we could barely see in front of us. It was extremely foggy and all we could hear was the odd carp show in the distance. But as it cleared, we started to see a few fish in front of this platform here, albeit in pretty deep water. So first things first, we made our way around here and I flicked out 3 solid bags just to see if I could nick a bite. And that's pretty much where we're at now. The fog has cleared, it's beautiful bright sunshine, not ideal for fishing right now, but apparently the next 2 days are bringing low pressure fronts and loads of rain, which is far from ideal in these white sneakers. I've actually forgot my boots, so a bit of a schoolboy error. I think I might get some wet feet in the coming days. But anyway, at least it's going to be nice and warm. So yeah, the rods are out. For now, I'm probably going to leave them out for another hour or so, and then I'll give them some grub. They're quite new fish, some really good fish in here, and I know they're going to like a bit of food. So yeah, I'll find a spot in a while, maybe just on the shelf, put a bit of bait out, and hopefully build something for the coming days. Let's see what happens. Right, for this session, I have opted to fish solid bags. Now, a few reasons for that. One is because I know they work very well. I was lucky enough to come here last week and I found that the solid bags were a lot more successful than sort of your standard approach really. Now whether that's because they're slightly new fish or not, I'm not sure, but they're obviously reared on pellets, so they love them. There's the old train going in the background. So yeah, so I'm going to start off with solid bags. I've got 2 rods out there already because I've just been cooted on this one, and my feeling is that I'm going to try and nick a bite whilst I'm on fish, but throughout the session I will begin to build the swim a bit more. I know that they like bait in here, again from experience last week. So yeah, I'm going to flick some solid bags out for now and then start to build an area a bit later this afternoon. Now in my solid bag mix, to allow them to get nice and tight and compact, which enables them to fly through the air a bit better, I'm using quite a small pellet. It's a mixture of pellet, it's called Mini Ultra Mix, and there's a few different sizes in there, a few different consistencies, smells and breakdown times as well, which I think is key when solid bag fishing. And then I've added some salmon micro feed in there as well, which again just gets in those little corners of the bag and gives it a little bit of a different texture and taste. So as you can see, a nice rock solid bag. Just going to pop the corners in, get it nice and aerodynamic. Can't even say aerodynamic. And I'm going to flick this out to where I've seen some fish on the right hand side. There's a big weed bed in that bay, and it seems to be that the fish are patrolling a little bit alongside that weed bed. Even though we're in November time now, it's quite a warm day, so they seem to be patrolling in the shallower water a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to flick the bag out just on the edge of the weed, see if we can nick one. Okay, why there is a bit of a lull, well, nothing's happened yet. It is now sort of afternoon time and I'm going to get things prepped and sorted for the session ahead. So first things first, I'm popping the marker float out there to try and locate a spot. Now, it might be sort of mid-November time and getting a bit colder. As a result, a lot of people will head to the really deep water. But because of that, the deep water, this lake, I wouldn't have said has cooled down all that quickly. So, I'm still going to fish a reasonable depth, not the deepest water. I'm going to go for sort of 22, 23 foot is like the killer zone in my experience at this place, which isn't very far out. It's a very, very gradual slope that goes down into sort of 35 foot. So I want to be fishing sort of 3/4 down the shelf in that 22 to 23 foot of water, and hopefully I'll get a few fish visiting. So rather than popping this float up in 23 foot now, because I'll forget what the depth was, I'm going to stop talking, find the spot, put some bait on it. So my chosen mix for the session is pretty simple. It is very, very wholesome. There's not too many bitty bits in there. These fish are pellet reared, so they absolutely love a pellet. So it's very, very pellet dominated. There is some 6mm Pacific tuna pellets in there. There are also some small tuna dumbbells and a little bit of maize as well, because the lake is very, very clear. I just feel like that maize will just give them a little bit of a fleck on the bottom, catch their attention a little bit. I have added some liquids in there as well. I've got some bloodworm compound, which is a really, really stinky liquid, obviously with some whole bloodworm in there as well. So a very stinky mix, very simple, but very, very attractive. And I know that the carp like it here. Well, they certainly did last week anyway. So I'm going to put out, I don't know, maybe half a bucket. I know they like their grub, so I better get on with my spodding. Hey, we're in. I was just saying to Brad, I'm surprised this rod hadn't gone. There's been a few fish showing over there just off the weed, and just as I was spodding, the rod that's not on the spod has ripped into life, and that was an absolute screamer of a take as well. So yeah, we're in on the solid bag, Bradders. Do go well in this deep water. You honestly don't know how big they are until they're in front of you. Just powering down in 30 foot of water. It's quality. Oh yeah, he looks like a nice lin. Come on fella. Come on mate. There we go. Yes, what a good start. What a good start that is. He's lovely. Nice.
Nice.
So one of the rules here at Baulking and on, I believe, all the embryo waters is that when you have a fish in the net, you need to break it down, pop the waist sling underneath, make sure all the fins are flat, and then you are safe to pop it onto the unhooking mat. So I'm just going to show you how to do that now. It's much better for the fish, keeps their fins all nice and flat, and there's no risk of damaging them like that. So here we go. There's my little Northern Special pop-up actually. Still smelling beautiful. Right, I'm gonna get me waist sling. Pop that down in the water next to me. Obviously if it's windy, do it after, but we're fine, it's flat calm. Pop the net arms out, like so. And then roll it down. Face the fish towards the waist sling. Oh, catching me line. Right, his nose is facing forward. And then pop the fish into the sling, like so. Pop the net in like that. I'm just going to get a bit lower because I want to check that his fins are all nice and flat. So you want to make sure that his pecs are flush to his body, which they are. Okay, he's safe. What a start that is. We had a bit of a guess on the weights and I got it wrong. It was quite a bit bigger. 26 pounds, 14 ounces of awesome linear. Very, very chuffed with that one. The quick fire solid bag tactics worked. The right hand rod absolutely ripped off. I'd seen a few fish over the area to be honest, and both Brad and I were rubbing our hands and it shortly rattled off. So yeah, solid bag tactics worked. I'm going to get it back out there, see if we can catch another one. Very chuffed. Go on, mate. So one thing I like to do when fishing higher stocked venues is be a little bit prepared. So I'm solid bag fishing and I have prepared a solid bag. Now the way I do it is just form a big loop in my main line. This is a figure of 8, and then I just put my solid bags on via a loop to loop method. So I just put the loop through that loop, open the loop up again, and then put the solid bag through it like so. And that just pulls down tight like that, and I have a solid bag ready to go, ready to get back on the fish in an instant. Well, we are just heading into our first evening of the trip. It is 4:30, something like that. Getting dark early now, going to be long old night. But I've had an enjoyable day. We've caught a lovely one, just under 27 pounds. Couldn't ask for a lot more than that. And we've had a very enjoyable day weather-wise. Been in a t-shirt for most of the day. But I think I'm going to have to make the most of it because according to the weatherman, we have got some rain on its way, and quite a lot of it. I'm absolutely desperate that he's got it wrong, but it looks pretty certain. So I'm going to enjoy the next few hours in a t-shirt. All 3 rods are out. I'll put a fair bit of bait out there tonight, probably put 25, 30 spoms out there in total, which isn't actually that much bait in this depth, but more than I would normally put out. But there's a good head of carp in here. There's definitely carp in the area, so I'm fairly confident that they might get on it. Let's see what happens tonight. Well, how about that one? We are just getting into the evening, haven't even had me dinner yet, and the right hand rod has absolutely ripped off. Solid bag once again, this time on a Northern Special Mini. So a tiny little hook bait in the bag, a little yellow one, and we're away. Lovely fish, probably scraper 20s, I reckon, maybe just over 20 pounds, and a very, very beautiful, beautiful common. Right, as you can see, the temperature's dropping, although the rain has eased a bit, so hopefully it's going to stay dry. Right mate, let's get you back, get a few more spoms out there, hopefully you'll get a few more bites. Fishing is fun, they said. No, let's be honest, I've had a really, really nice session so far. Could put up with a little bit of rain. Say a little bit of rain, this is like a monsoon. It has been all night and it's been incredibly windy. At one point, I thought my bivvy was going to take off. I didn't sleep very well, if I'm honest. But we've had some bites. Last night, I caught a common just after me dinner, or was it just before me dinner? Then this morning, I had a brace of nice ones. I had probably a scraper 20, and then the other one was sort of a long, lean, beautiful little linear. And that's where we're at now. We are sort of morning time. It's very, very wet. The wind is howling into my face, a nice warm wind I might add. And if I'm honest, conditions for fishing couldn't really be any more perfect. The pressure has dropped, and yeah, other than being comfortable, it is perfect for angling. I have Trojaned on a little bit, if I'm honest. I've put some more spoms out there this morning because there's some beautiful carp in here. So I'm just going to power through this rain, not let it bother me, not dampen the spirits at all, and hopefully we'll get some more nice carp. So as long as I'm in my waterproofs, I'll be happy, and as long as they're rocking, we'll both be happy. Right, I'm going to retreat to the bivvy now. Get out of the way, Brad. Just as the rain stopped, the fish have decided to play ball. Just had a bite on the right hand rod, and we are in to the 5th fish of the session. It's very windy, so I'm hoping it's not blowing into the mic too much. If it is, you just have to watch. Yay! Well, that is a little porker of a corker, isn't it? Beautiful fish, that one. Scraps like absolute crazy in that rain. And yeah, I'm a very, very happy angler. That's fish number 5, I believe. And I believe that when I top the bait up, just get some feed in even more. So I think we've got a few more chances to come. Cracking little fish on a solid, no, that was on a spinner rig. Hopefully we're going to catch another one on a solid bag shortly. But yeah, all the rods are back out. Hopefully we're going to catch a bigger one next. But yeah, a little corker. Right mate, let's get you back. Well, the rain has finally eased, so both myself and Brad have finally got a smile on our face because it's now perfect conditions. We can enjoy it even more. I'm about to flop a solid bag back out there. Although that fish was actually on a spinner, now that the rain has subsided, I'm going to pop a solid bag back out there because I just think it's a more effective, more efficient method that, just as I said, the rain was easing, you can hear it pitter pattering again. So I'm going to be quick because I need to flop this solid bag out. One thing you'll notice is that I actually double bag these solid bags because it's quite deep out there and I want to make sure that it gets to the bottom intact. Not only that, now we've got drizzle, the double bag will obviously protect it even more. In terms of hook baits, I'm using a small Northern Special Mini in there. They love a bit of yellow and they love that little hook bait. So yeah, before this rain knackers me up even more, I'm going to get this solid bag back on the spot. Right, I'm going to get it out there. A good show, isn't it? Just giving the swim a little top up. Only not much, just like literally 3 or 4 spoms. Not going to go mad because I feel like I can get more bites today. So I don't want to go mad, I just want to top it up with 2, 3, maybe 4 spoms. Just to get the fish grubbing around still. And then I've obviously got my solid bags out there with a bit of bait around them anyway. So yeah, little and often will hopefully bring the bites. Often. Well, we're getting on for late afternoon now. And so far, the trip has been pretty epic. I think we're up to 6 bites, something like that. I have lost a couple as well, unfortunately. There's a funny old snag quite close in. It's been locking me up solid. I don't know what it is, whether it's a sunken tree or something like that. But it's been causing me a few problems. But we've caught a few fish, so I'm very, very happy. It has slowed down the last 2 hours, not going to lie, it has quietened down, and I'm not seeing loads out there at the moment. They seem to have quietened right down. Whether it's because the temperature's dropped a little bit, I don't know. But if we can winkle out 1 or 2 more tonight, we'll have had a great session. So for now, I'm going to enjoy the nice dry weather because I don't think it's going to be dry for very long. Right, fingers crossed we get another one before we go. Well, that little perler is the final fish of the trip. Like many of you guys, I have got to pack up early because there is work to do today. It is just getting light now, and the night was a little bit quiet, to be honest, a lot quieter than the night before, but it was still very, very wet. But I've had a very, very enjoyable session. Caught plenty of carp, caught some absolute crackers. Now it's time to go and do some work. I hope you've enjoyed it. Cheers.